welcome to Highbrow, Lowbrow. I'm your host, Shaun. With me here is Roun Sensei. Each week we get together to discuss a well-regarded, highly acclaimed film against a cheesy blockbuster.
Basically an artsy-fartsy film versus a mindless good time. So each week we decide on who gets the category. This week I guess it's my turn.
Yep, this week is your turn. Ron, what did you end up picking for your category?
I chose World's End.
Movies that have to feature the world ending or almost ending. So first up is my film,
Melancholia.
First up is my film, Melancholia. Cheers.
Cheers.
Melancholia is a 2011 Lars von Trier film about a planet who hurtles towards a collision course with Earth. Two sisters, one of them trying to recover from a heavy bout of depression and a failed marriage, cope with their destiny in very different ways. Ron, what did you think of this highbrow pick?
Number one, it's absolutely beautiful. Everything is like a painting. I don't know if if anybody's familiar with Stanley Kubrick's Barry Lyndon, where they use the telescopic NASA cameras where everything's flat. So cinematography wise, it's super good. But typically, I don't know, this is kind of like, I don't vibe with it in terms of the characters. It's kind of like what they call the first world problems. I'm like, I don't really give a shit.
So there's two sisters, Justine and Claire. And Justine, the first part of the story is about Justine and her trying to celebrate her wedding against the backdrop of her crippling depression. And Claire is trying to deal with the impending doom of the earth, or all of life as we know it.
She's also babysitting her sister. I
think there is an interesting parallel because Claire, who doesn't believe that the world has a future, or doesn't believe her world has a future, has Ron's right. She is totally an unrelatable character. She has everything she wants. She has a handsome husband. She has wealth. She has the great job. She has everything.
Looks.
But she's dead. She's dead inside. She's so depressed. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a clinical thing. People get depressed. I think that really draws to really well with the other narrative where the world's ending, because it's fuck your fancy things, fuck your whatever you got. The world's ending, dude. You're there's no saving grace. All the hope is dead, and I think it draws well into the idea of depression and how there is no hope, and you can fake it, and you can try to put your aspirations into these pockets of maybe this will work, or maybe this will work, or maybe this will work. But at the end of the day, it's no, you can just abate in the horror of it all. And it's so sad. So yeah, I don't know. I dug it. I thought it was really interesting. I thought it was really affecting, and but it is a little bit of a soul crush. I remember we did watch the other film, but on the day we watched Melancholia, and it ends, right? The movie ends. I looked over to Ron, and Ron's like, that's enough for today. That's it. That's it for today.
I don't need to like the character. I don't need to see her with morals and stuff to actually back her up. But at the same time, if you're this fucking rich and you're this fucking good looking, don't be a brittle spirit. Like Chappelle says. Stop that. You can make...
But there are people that are that rich and they do have...
Don't be Justine.
So let's move on. Ron, what did you pick for your End of the World
End
movie?
of the World. A very kind of obscure film. Not many people really know about it. It's called Sunshine by Danny Boyle. The year is 2057. The sun is dying and the earth is freezing. Sunshine is the story of 8 international astronauts piloting a spaceship carrying a bomb the size of Texas with the intent to jumpstart the sun and return to Earth. Okay, Shaun, what'd you think of this film?
So I'm familiar with Sunshine. I've seen it before. It's one of the more underrated Danny Boyle movies. But yeah, I've always thought this film was a very fun. I don't know if I want to call it like diverse, but I like the casting because it's pretty open, and it's just a very fun end of the world thriller where they're racing against time. It's like a race against time where they're trying to like save the Earth, and there's so many things thrown at you. You know, there's so many timelines. Like, do we have enough water or enough supplies to get back to the Earth? Do we have this to like do our mission? You know, did we necessarily sign a death warrant? And you can see that moment played out across all these characters' lives. The cinematography is really good. The pacing is really good. It's a very quick-paced, action-packed thriller type of movie.
So I like the international cast. I like the fact that they gave them real scripts, real roles, and that's it. That's the end of it, and everything is to the sacrifice of the story. And then you can actually see what's his name, Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. The beginning of Chris Evans here. In the beginning, he's really like a non-entity.
Yeah.
You didn't even like him and stuff, and he's the most asshole fucking guy in the world. But
he has a really, really good turn in this film.
He's a really so. Everybody just played their roles here, and it's a shame that not a lot of people know about this film, so that's why I picked it.
I'm a big fan of Sunshine, and I don't feel like it's like an exemplifier of Lowbrow, but I do feel like it is an under-recognized film. So to give it more recognition and to give it more eyes on it, I think would be good. If you guys want to watch it, I would highly recommend watching it. But that said, I don't know. It's weird. Like, there's always this sort of problem when watching like a highbrow film and a lowbrow film, and on a certain level, like the weight of one film sort of squashes another film a little bit in my eyes. But Sunshine is a real action-packed, fun movie. That introduces like issues and introduces themes that are really thoughtful and interesting, but it sometimes lacks a little bit of weight behind those.
So a lot of people, including myself, have a problem with the third act, which kind of gets into the weird aspects of things. Now I'm a big fan of Danny Boyle. Ever since like 28 Weeks Later, and then you got like the great adaptation of Trainspotting. I've read all the books by Irvine Welsh, so he's a really competent director. But the third act of this movie is kind of like weird.
Yeah.
But those are fighting words from Shaun. The highbrow squashing the thing. So let's go to the verdict. Okay, Shaun. Go for it.
All right. So, I mean, as you can tell from our previous discussion on Sunshine, I ended up choosing Melancholia for this one, just because I don't know. Comparing the ending of Melancholia. I mean, you obviously shouldn't do this, but the weight of Melancholia and how much it sort of laughs or sort of like just bats away any idea of like hope or thing or whatever. Like it just makes a mockery of it. And Sunshine exemplifies itself on that. Oh, let's believe in the human spirit. Let's believe in all this stuff to save the world. Oh, this is like the hope of humanity. This is, oh, we can do this. We can believe in life, and even though we're sacrificing ourselves, here's this thing and we can achieve it together. And then Melancholia is like, fuck you, it's like, fuck you, this is what it is, deal with it. And ultimately I just felt that was such a powerful message and so powerfully conveyed, because it's like when doom and when the end of things is just coming upon you, the bald-faced confrontation of it is so impactful, and I think that's what the third act of Sunshine fails a little bit, because it becomes like this evil bad guy, this
like a horror
bad guy who you can't see right for some reason because everything's blurred out because of the sun or whatever. It's all shaky and shit. And you're losing sense of time, and it's like a battle against this thing. It's like, sure, you're battling against this evil bad guy, and you're battling against all these things, but does it actually deal with like the level of fate that you're dealing with? Like, are you actually like facing that head on? I sort of feel like you lose it a little bit in Sunshine.
Yeah, I agree with that. The third act has a lot of problems because it introduces a bad guy later on in the run of things, and then suddenly now they have to face this, and this is happening. So it kind of reduces the whole. So what I disagree with what Shaun was saying is that humanity, believing in humanity, is not. There's no guarantee. Like, these guys are sacrificing themselves with the hopes of just a chance. Nonetheless, I do agree with what he says about the whole introduction of the bad guy, because it could have been left just like in Armageddon. A bunch of failures, a bunch of problems about the surroundings and the circumstances of things. You don't really need a human aspect to introduce there to be a horror kind of film for them to run around and escape and die and fight, because it didn't really need that. But by that time, you're in love with the characters and you're in for the journey. Melancholia. Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to say. So ultimately, I'm saying I choose Melancholia over Sunshine. Ron?
I choose Sunshine, obviously.
Okay.
Sunshine for me is a classic. Kind of like I'll watch it again and again. Melancholia is not a bad film, but like I said, it's so hard to go and like say fuck the world when you have everything, because then it's fuck you. So Sunshine is to grunge. No. Melancholia is to grunge as Sunshine is to metal. Grunge is within you. Metal is fuck you. Melancholia is very inwards. I'm only concentrated in what I feel. Whereas Sunshine is like, fuck your feelings. It's for the world. Do what you're supposed to do.
I think with most American films, or most films in general, you have this sense of like achieving this higher, greater, more, beautiful thing or whatever, and aspiring. But the reality of the world is that people often don't aspire. People don't succeed in the face of overwhelming evil. They just have to deal with the here and now and the consequences of the world they're in. And I think Melancholia deals with that sense of being in a shit world.
But Shaun, let's say Kirsten Dunst is a dude.
Sure.
Right? Maybe he is Chris Evans, or
sure.
like Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
6-pack abs, blonde hair, blue eyes, like 6 foot something tall, got all the money in the world. Are you gonna feel sorry for him just because he's depressed?
I feel sorry for him because he has all those things and he is depressed. Because you can get to that point and feel like shit, and all that shit, all the money, all the looks, all the muscles, all the whatever, doesn't mean shit, because depression is just gonna beat your ass.
Guys, drink alcohol. Don't take opioids. Pharmaceuticals will get you in Melancholia.
And no, Cillian Murphy is gonna come in with his fucking cute ass girlfriend or whatever,
right?
And then save your ass.
Oh, she's so cute.
Yeah.
By the way,
the world's gonna come in and
that is a giveaway. Yeah.
Smash you dry. So that's what we thought about Melancholia and Sunshine. Be sure to tune in next time when we try to find out who was right,
Shaun or Ron. See you guys.